What's going on, guys? Hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope you guys had fun yesterday with that very long stream. Probably one of the longer streams I've ever done. I think it was only like 5.5 hours. If you're watching this now or in the future, hit that like and subscribe if you like special effects, sculpting, mold making, etc. Today we're going to be going over working on the fire pit, which I worked on off stream. Made it a little bit bigger, kind of with the vibe I'm going for. I want the flames a little bit taller. We're going to be working on an aspect of packaging for the Chestburster, so we can officially start the photo shooting and all that fun jazz. The last step is the packaging, and I have some cool ideas. Hey, funny guy, how's it going? Hope all is well. And then depending on how quick those two things go, we'll work on the severed hand that I've been working on, the little miniature one. So I guess without further ado, let's kick it off. Bam. Okay, so here's the fire pit, guys. I don't know if you guys remember what we were working on yesterday, but I added the flames a little bit higher. It's mostly done. The only thing I want to do at this point is just use some alcohol and a chip brush to kind of smooth it out. So that's what we're going to be doing. So let's go ahead and get started on that. All right, let me, I can zoom in a little bit for you guys so you can see a little bit better. I'm pretty happy with it, particularly if you look at, it kind of from profile. I think it came out really nice. Once the flames get molded and cast out of like a clear or I'm thinking like a yellow or red resin, and we load some LEDs into this bad boy. We may even do the whole little cotton trick for some smoke. I don't know. Undecided yet. Thanks for all the likes for the live, guys. I really appreciate it. Funny guy, dude. Things are going pretty well, all considered. I was not happy with the flames that we had yesterday, and I'm still not super thrilled with these ones. But I went online and looked up some reference pictures for basically other types of like sculpted flames, and they always look lame. Trying to capture like flames in a three-dimensional sculpt is kind of tricky, but I think we did aight. Erica, thank you for the lollipops. Thank you very much. Hit my sweet tooth for the day. Thank you. So yeah, we just are gonna use some alcohol and a chip brush, and we're gonna smooth this bad boy out. And then we're gonna get started on the shipping package for the Chestburster. So where is the alcohol? There it is. Looks awesome. Yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy with how it came out. Oh my goodness, it's a dancing papa dog. It's a corgi. Thank you. That was absolutely adorable. I have 2 pugs at home. Don't know if you guys are, oh, Jen of Arc, what's up? I don't know if you guys are dog fans, but I have 2 pugs at home. One that's like 6 and one that's a year and a half, no, almost 2 years old. They're my little goblins, yo. Pugs are like the closest animal to like a goblin or a gremlin, so I had no choice, you know. Someday, if I have like a lot larger, like a backyard or something, or an infinitely larger bed, bigger couches, I would love to have like a big dog at some point. But for now, I'll take my pugs, you know. I grew up with like Labradors, big Labradors. They were like Labrador Chow mixes, so they were quite large. Pugs are cute. They got a lot of problems, I've learned, a lot of health issues, but they are friggin' adorable. Our first pug is quite large. I feel bad for him too. Yeah. Our first pug is pretty big for a pug, and I don't mean like fat, and I guess he is a little chonky, but he's just big. He reminds me of like a small pit bull pug, like, but he's large. And then our newest one, Lana, their names are Archer and Lana, and Lana is tiny. It's like half of an Archer. But yeah, they have a lot of medical problems. Well, they just generally do. Our youngest one hasn't really experienced too many, but our oldest one's had some issues that we've had to figure out. If you guys haven't, you can join the Discord and post pictures of your pets, and then I have pictures of our pugs on the Discord too. Make such cool stuff. Thank you. I try. This fire pit is going to be really interesting. I'm really excited to start actually messing around with the electronics aspect of the fire pit, because I feel like in my head it's going to be really simple to wire some LEDs, but I know for a fact once I actually get started it's going to be a pain. Peggy, thank you for the follow. I much appreciate it. But yeah, I've seen, I don't really make dioramas a ton, so this is kind of like, the ideas are all the same to everything else I do, but I did watch some diorama videos, and there's people that literally will use like cotton balls for smoke and put LEDs in them to backlight it, and I think that's kind of a cool idea. I don't know if I will, but who knows? We may. I'm a dog/cat guy. I love both. Yeah, we have 2 cats, 2 dogs. 2 cats, 2 dogs, a betta fish, and we had a sneck for a while. We'll probably end up with another sneck at some point. When? I don't know. We'll see. I didn't see what that said. Sorry, hold on one second. Starting with a woman that put her dog down for biting her. Got mad. Probably shouldn't have said anything. It's tricky, man. Depends on how bad of a bite, I suppose. And even then, or how long you've had the dog, you know? Have you built up like a really strong relationship with the dog? Is it brand new? You know, I don't know. I don't know how to react. I've had a lot of dogs and pets throughout my life, and I've been nipped at or bitten by all of them when they were puppies or babies, you know, but not anything serious. The only thing that ever bit me regularly was I had a pet iguana for a period of time when I was a teenager. That little bastard. He was aggressive. Never seen a dog that couldn't be saved. Hey, in my personal experience, yeah, but I know, like, I feel like there are some really, they're not mean. They kind of end up being mean, but when they come from really abusive homes and stuff like that. I have a couple of friends that do rehabilitation for dogs, and they do great work, but it takes a ton of time and effort to do it. They can only do a couple dogs at a time, kind of, and it takes a really long time. And then they're kind of responsible for housing them or making sure that they get housed after they're done. I'd be willing to bet you're willing to put the time in, you'll always be able to find a way to kind of help a dog along. Debating if I want to use terpenoid on this or if I think I can just get away with just the alcohol smoothing technique. Thanks for all liking the live, guys. I really appreciate it. I think it helps the algorithm, so thank you for all the likes. Love seeing them hearts bounce up and down. She's not innocent. She shouldn't get another dog to do... Oh, no, I agree to that. No, I don't think the person who injures the dog or puts them down, you know? But there's always some weird calculus when it comes to pets. I remember, I'm happy that I could afford it. I was very fortunate for that, but we had some pet rats. It's really hard to find like decent vets for rats, and one of them was going through a really hard time, and they had lived up basically a full rat life, so to speak. I think it was like a few years, but they had to get put down. And I remember at the time, luckily we had some money, but it was still tight. Like, I think we paid like $350 to have it put down, and also it did come with like a little cremation kit. I know that sounds cheesy, but either way, point is, there's always like some calculation. It's like, how much money could someone spend on a pet if it was like, I don't know if I could ever afford or justify, unless I knew that it was literally going to improve their life enormously, doing the whole like chemo for pets that have like cancer. If they were young enough, maybe, but if they're already old and it's not going to make like a large improvement on their life, I don't know what I would do. I hope I'm not ever in that position. I don't, because I really don't know what, like how I would react. But it's kind of the responsibility, right, that you take on when you become a pet owner. Okay, and I know, like, I only brought this out just to do this last step. I kind of saved this last step for stream, but I mean, ultimately, it's pretty much done. That's pretty much all she wrote. Tomorrow, I'll make like we could do that part. Let's do that part, actually. We have to prep it for molding, so let's work on that, actually. That model is fire. Yeah, right. I give it to you to give to them. It's incredibly easy to mess up. Oh, really? Damn. That is messed up. Okay. Where is the... Need a specific type of clay to do this. So we have to be, as you can imagine, to make a silicone mold of just the flames, we're gonna have to build some clay up around here. We don't need all of the campfire to mold just the flames, right? We really need to mold just the flames. So we're gonna kind of use clay to cover areas we don't need, and also make keys as well. So canned air for the win. Oh God, alcohol right in my eye. Wear safety glasses. I'm really used to it. I swear I probably get alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, like spritzed or some in my eye probably 5 times a week. And easy, you know? It doesn't even burn so much anymore as it's just like getting anything else in your eye. You're like, oh, something went in my eye. But people who are not used to it, it burns. It's no fun. I think the worst thing I ever had was I one time got xylene in my eye once. That was pretty terrible, okay? It was pretty miserable. I don't suggest it for anyone thinking about it. Let's put these over here. We have this Chestburster we're going to work on next in a second. Yeah, you can train most animals. Hell, I've seen some pretty crazy training, even with cats. What is it? Became really popular after that Ben Stiller movie. Apparently you can train cats to like use toilets and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. I've never done it, obviously, but still cool. It really is not as thin as I would like it to be. What is this? About a 1/4 inch? Bummer. And this is how I get a bunch of marks in my table. This is why a lot of artists, sculptors you see online and streamers and stuff like that, they use polymer clay for a lot of their stuff, is because mold making is time consuming. And I know just a lot of people do not enjoy doing it. But every time you sculpt something out of Chavant and you want to cast it, you have to end up making a mold of it. So that's what we be doing. And remember, we're just molding the flames, but we want some register. It'll be why yours are always next level. Maybe. I've seen some pretty cool polymer clay sculptures, but I like being able to, even though I'm going to admit right now, I don't do it often, but I love being able to reproduce my work if I want to. So I have probably, I'm not even joking, over 100 plus personal molds that are from projects I've done, that out of those I've maybe run a couple of products out of, but ultimately, and generally speaking, I don't run multiples. But if I ever want to, I can. And that is what is important. Yo, what up, Glitch? Snakes are the best. Best pet. I don't know. I really like, I mean, it really, again, depends on your definition of best. I really like the doggos, personally, but. Yeah, I don't know why. Just imagine something goes wrong. How are you going to make another one quick? That's a good point. Yeah. That's true. I'm watching The Great. Yeah. And you sounded like them. Yeah, that's true. If something goes wrong, I can always do it. I can do another one. Or in this case, like this fire pit, they are Russian, but they sound British. Okay. So, like, for example, this fire pit, I can use this fire pit for a few different projects. Like, I decided I'm going to make a stand for the goblin out of the fire pit. He's about the right size, you know, to kind of be doing some, he's like heating his hands over the fire kind of thing. He needs a stand too. He's broken his arm now 4 times right here. So he needs a heavy base. And so I'll end up making him a base. Yeah, we made him. He was one of my first projects when I started streaming. So yeah, no, I made him. He was a pain in the butt. He used 3 molds. You go back on my YouTube channel, you can see me working on the molds for his arms, because his arms were molded separately. His body was all one piece. It was all one mold, but his arms and his fingers were separate molds. And as you can imagine, these tiny little things, oh my goodness, what a pain in the butt that was, yeah. But he's fallen over a couple of times. I don't know if you guys can see it, but he's got a bit of a crack right here in his arm, so. Yeah, I've only made 2 of them because he's really kind of a pain in the butt to paint, to be honest. I have a fleshy one that's kept at the house, and then that's Steve, I call him Steve, my judgment goblin, because he just looks kind of like a Steve and like angry and judging me about whether or not I'm working hard enough. I keep him around just to keep an eye on me, you know? Steve's a quality goblin, okay? I mean, I've broken his... Gravity has broken his arm, okay? I did not break his arm. Gravity did. And that's the story, and I'm sticking to it, okay? Where did all my sculpting tools go? I swear one of them literally must have grown a leg and walked away. Where is it? I want a magical sculpting tool kit where all I have to do is reach inside it, and I'll always pull out the sculpting tool I need. Gotta love the accountability. Listen, if Steve understands, everyone else can, okay? I'm gonna try my best here to show this aspect. It's gonna be tricksy. It's absolutely gonna be tricksy. The nice thing is I sculpted the flames out of hard Chavant, so even if I nick them, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. The idea is this gets casted as like a clear shell, right? And then we just, once we have the flames figured out, or the LEDs figured out, we just glue the flames into place on an otherwise painted and casted fire pit. There will be undercuts. I know there's going to be undercuts. I just have to be careful. And I could have even used this fire pit probably for our actual fire pit, but the fire pit's going to have to be hollow on the backside so that I can run wire and stuff. And if you guys were here yesterday, we casted this out of solid aluminum resin, which actually I guess is a misnomer now because this resin I guess is no longer aluminum filled, where I feel like it was at one time. But we got informed that that was not the case, or is not the case any longer. That was to my surprise. I've always called it Aluma resin, so. But we're gonna even have, if everything works out, we'll even have LEDs underneath the, like the charcoal and stuff like that. It's not charcoal, what's it called? Like the ashes will be like emanating a red or yellow warm light as well. Like embers, yeah. Embers, that's the word I was looking for, yeah. What? What are you talking about? Jeb? What's going on? That's very true. Probably about the same as much as yours, to be honest. Nah, I'm good, man. I'll do you one better, though. I'll do you one better. Blip. Peace. Bam, 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 bam. Ba, 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 ba. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, no, we're just following the lines, basically. Just following the seam around the actual flames itself, right? So, covering up the rest of the shit with clay because we don't need it to be part of the mold. I can't decide after we cast the flames, if we're going to have to put something else inside the flames, like some kind of light diffuser. Theoretically, the LEDs I bought have a, what's it called? Not a fuse, resistors in them that will help them flicker, but they might just, if they're not diffused already, I haven't hooked them up to test it. If they're not diffused already, then I'm going to have to probably put some other kind of diffusion in, so. Bow, bow. wonky. This is going to be a wonky mold. If this goes well, and if the whole assembly and wiring, all that goes well too, I probably will sell the fire pit for other people that want to do like models that are scaled to this size, which I'm gonna have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's like quarter scale or like fifth scale, some obscure scale that I picked to sculpt the creature in because I like to make things difficult, so. Okay, it's getting there. This keeps taking as long as it's looking like it's going to take. We might switch to the other project just because I really do want to get that done too, so. But if we complete this part, then tomorrow I can just throw, I think I'm just going to use a cup to just go over this and then just pour some silicone inside and we'll be done. Wild Drive, look at all them likes. Thank you. A whole lot of like love. Thank you. Um, Usually what I'm doing would be called like a cutting edge if you were sculpting like a makeup appliance. is you literally fill all the other detail around it, and you leave a very small gap between the clay edge and the sculpt that you're trying to mold. Bam, ba, bam, ba, bam, bam. Man, all those likes still coming in. You guys got to 1.4 thousand likes. Thank you. Make it difficult. You have a challenge. Yeah, that's true. It's my middle name. Make it, Mike, make it more difficult curse. There was a step of difficulty I totally went over, though. I think I mentioned on the stream the other day, I was debating on doing like a smoke effect with like a vape atomizer type thing to make the thing have like smoke coming out of it. After researching how I could do it, I was like, no, we're not doing that. I would have probably had to design, to some extent, some custom stuff for it that would have just taken up way too much time for an effect that even is like, you'd have to refill it. There'd be a lot of stuff you'd still have to mess around with. Yo, Transformer, what's up? How things been? Get a fog machine. Interesting you mentioned that. That's basically what you can get are like, yeah, little cheap. You can get like handheld fog machines, or you can get stuff that's based on the same ideas, like my vape, which uses like petroleum glycol and vegetable glycerin. I looked at it and I was just like, man, I've already sunk so much damn money into this project. I'm not doing that again. So sadly, say la vie. Yeah, no, is it the one that also like spits out water and stuff like that? You have to keep like in a certain depth of water. Because I did look up some that you can buy. Like I went that far to see that. And again, the problem too is just that you'd always have to refill it. At least with like the lights that I'm going to design into this, at least they're just lights. The worst you'll ever have to do is occasionally change the batteries, right? Because I don't think I'm going to use anything else. No, it's not one of those. Okay. Well, like I said, I already started designing the layout once I decided I wasn't going to do the vape or the smoke thing. I appreciate the offer, though. Because I got to send... So this is going to get... When the project is fully done and I get all the pictures and video I could possibly want, I'm going to send it out to someone. And they didn't ask for it. It's going to be like a gift. And I started thinking about all the different levels of upkeep I would want them to have to deal with to get the full vibe of it, you know? Look up the magic Minxies if you decide you want it, for sure. I don't know what that is, but I will look it up. Magic Minxie? Man, I'm just there's like, this is a bottomless pit down there. Bottomless fire pit, right? Just keep adding more clay and it keeps sinking further and further, so. I even debated, I don't know if you guys ever had those crappy Halloween decorations. Where it's like a fire goblet or something that hangs from the ceiling. There's like a fan underneath it that is like blowing little pieces of like orange and yellow fabric that are lit with like orange and yellow light, and that's how it creates the synthetic fire. I even debated doing something like that for this. I was like, man, that's gonna look really cheesy. This is gonna look cheesy enough. It can only be used once. You can get refills. It's just not as good. Oh, okay. Yeah, when I way back in the day, almost in another life, I helped manage a Spencer's Gifts store, and there was this section in the store that was called the fantasy section, and it was always like dragons and gargoyles with fancy LED lights and stuff like that, like fountains and shit. And we would always have to put together displays for that part of the store, and oftentimes they would have these fog makers that you would put into some type of water reservoir that was built into the design of that piece. And they did create fog, like low level fog. It wasn't like great or anything like that, but it also would like spit up water and stuff. It was no fun. Like the effect was cool for a little bit until you realized that it was creating so much overspray over a period of time that like if you had if this was sitting on like a shelf at your house or something like that, it'd be covered in like overspray of water and it would calcify and stuff. Some of those products at our store would be on display for probably 6 months any given time, sometimes longer, and it would just cover the whole display shelf with water spritz and calcium buildup and nastiness. Maybe that wouldn't have happened if we had used better water. I don't know. Oh, and they'd constantly burn out too because you'd forget to refill them and shit. And the motors would just fry. Yeah, dry ice for a quick effect would work really well. Again, you still need water for dry ice to do its thing. I've thrown a few parties back in the day with some dry ice. It goes pretty fast. We used to put it in our drinks and then drink. As long as you didn't swallow any of the dry ice, you'd be fine. I don't know where you find dry ice anymore. I'm guessing like packaging places would have it, right? Like, my parties must have been so cool. They were interesting. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and I was quite the artist slash liberal family in the middle of nowhere, and so I think a lot of my friends at the time just thought I was an oddity. Who wants to miss a party at an oddity's house, right? I don't know if Party City has dry ice. Maybe they do. I don't know. They should if they don't. It's starting to build. Wait, what? What's starting to build? The anticipation for the fire? No. The clay, okay. Yeah, I like I said, still can't wait just to get it to LED stage, and so we can start plugging and playing with batteries and wires and stuff like that. Really get to see it come alive. The red clay? Wait, which red clay? Are you talking about like terracotta clay or like this red clay? I threw clay. Oh, through. So like doing like pottery and stuff like that. That would have been like terracotta, right? Yeah, that stuff. Ceramic clay is another beast. I haven't done any ceramic clay work in many, many, many moons, but that used to be all I sculpted in way, way, way back in the day. But maybe that's why I'm so opposed to working in any other clays, just because of it dries your hands out. Like polymer clay, not so much. That's still got like an oil to it, but old or not old necessarily, ceramic clay, yeah, keep the moisturizer handy. I also have to build a fake tree. I'm not looking forward to that. Or at least part of a fake tree for all those Krampuses we made at the beginning of the year. I'm finally going to photo shoot those, but for the photo shoot, I need to come up with the props for the photo shoot. Hands, be raw. I don't know anyone uses that stuff. They just keep their hands moisturized. That's what they do. At least I'm pretty sure. I don't like having, the thing I don't like about that stuff is just having to keep it wet. You can't really go too thick with a sculpture, because then during the firing process you risk damaging it. If you don't have enough, what's it called? I think it's called grog or whatever. You have to add more grog the thicker the sculpture gets, so that when you fire it, it doesn't just straight up blow apart, which apparently can happen pretty easily. Yeah, I know I've talked about it on stream before, but growing up, with, my family and I used to do what's called raku firing, and you would use raku clay, which was really heavy in that additive. I think it's called grog, but you literally, you fire outside in like a custom kiln that you bring up. I think it's like to 2,000 degrees or something, and then you have to open the kiln. There's obviously millions of different ways to do it. We had this whole mechanism that literally raised the top part of the kiln off the artwork, and you would take it out with tongs. It would be not boiling, it'd be red hot. And then depending on the combustibles that you rested it in, whether it was hay, newspaper, or leaves or something like that. Yeah, whole family for the most part, yeah. And depending on what combustible you put it in would actually give like a different result. The results were always like super organic. Don't, like, when you think of this, don't think of like really bright ceramics. Think of like really organic colors, browns, blacks, grayscale, so like whites. But you could get some really interesting opalescence. But raku is like, I think one of the oldest, if not the oldest, ceramic firing techniques. I believe it comes from Japan. And you have to make all your own glazes. It's kind of hard to find. It might be different now, but at the time you definitely had to make your own glazes. So we'd have to buy all the raw glaze materials, and oftentimes there were different types of minerals. I seem to remember like iron oxide and a bunch of other things like that, and you'd have to mix them together in very particular mixes. Very particular. I think literally down to like micrograms, you had to make sure you were spot on. But if you did, you could really achieve some really cool opalescent colors, which was, for raku clay is pretty unique. Generally, raku again is just very earthy, so to get bright popping colors, generally it's not something you can expect without a lot of practice. Again, depending on too what your combustibles are. I want to say we used, newspaper the most. It was either newspaper or hay, one of those two things. But you also, oh, that's the other thing you could do. You could take spritz bottles, like water spritz bottles, because you would hold the piece. Interestingly enough, I have a fire representative right here. You'd hold your ceramic piece, you know, over, like you'd rest it in some combustibles like grass or hay or newspaper. Once it catches on fire, you would like rotate it around, and you would literally watch as the fire licked over the piece, and you would watch the fire flame or the flames changing the pattern on the piece. If you liked the pattern you were getting, you could take a spritz bottle. You have to be very careful with this because you could blow up the piece, and you spritz it very lightly, and it would literally freeze that pattern on the glaze. Like I said, you gotta be really careful though. Basically, any part of the clay that didn't have any glaze on it would absolutely turn black. So just think creosote and stuff, right? Or is it creosote? That's not the word I'm looking for. Just like anything else you hold over like a fire or a flame. It's not creosote. What is it called? It's I'm spacing on what it's called. The same shit that builds up inside your chimney. Now I do want to say it's creosote, but now I'm really second guessing. This one we're gonna have to go deep inside again. There's certain areas like where you see, so if you see the flames go up underneath the logs and stuff, right? So those areas I have to bring all this clay in down underneath and try and find the edge. It is creosote. Okay, all right then, yeah, that's that stuff, yeah. So yeah, anything that wasn't covered in a glaze that could be washed off, so like raw exposed clay would absolutely just turn black. And the clay would absorb that color, so you'd never be able to wash it away. Only areas that had glaze on them, once it fully cooled, and you'd have to wait for a full cool down before you would want to like take it out of the combustibles. You'd let it literally burn inside of it, and sometimes we put a metal trash can over it to collect all that smoke to really get those deep blacks. And you'd want it to fully cool. Sometimes that could take 6 or 7 hours before it was fully cooled. A lot of work to not know exactly what you're going to get until you pull it out. It always smelled good though. I know that sounds weird, but like the smell of the ceramic pieces always smelled like between smoke and just like good old fire, you know? A camping fire kind of thing. 'Tis a lost art. So long ago too, I don't even know if I remember much other than using the right clay, the temperature and stuff. I don't remember much about the glazes, just a couple of ingredients. We'd use, I think, a propane torch. Yeah, it was propane. We bought a torch. And it would take forever to get the kiln up to 2,000 degrees. And then you leave it at 2,000 degrees for some period of time. I don't remember exactly how long, before you popped it open and removed the pieces. I want to say it was like, take the better part of an hour for the first fire. We would never fire one time in a day. We do multiple fires just to make sure. Because once you get the kiln up to temperature, it's easier to bring it back up to temp again for like a reload or whatever. So we'd always wait until we'd have, I think, like 3 or 4 fires that could be done. And in each kiln, or like each load into the kiln, you could do, depending on the size of the piece, obviously, anywhere. For our setup, we did, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 small pieces or 1 or 2 big pieces. I would make the trip to do that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really mess around with the water-based clay anymore. It's fun stuff. I know my pops, he taught it to his high school students. He's an art teacher, and I want to say he did it a few years ago with one of his classes. They had fun. Not sure how the school felt about them bringing up an outside kiln to 2,000 degrees in the parking lot of a high school, but I'm sure he had fun. I'm sure the kids had fun. Trying to think, I probably could have just technically just gone and done a mold just straight of the flames without doing this. But the nice thing about doing it this way, when I go to paint in layer by layer the UV resin, with this I'll have a definitive line of where the flames end, where I don't know if I would have been able to tell that as much without doing this technique, so... So you can kind of see now more clarity about like where the flames are ending. They're actually, yeah, I sculpted in underneath it, because you think about it, flames, they start in the center of the fire and they work they work up and around, right? Hold on one second here, guys. Let me just put this right here. There we go. Man, we got to 3,000 likes. Thank you guys for all your screen smashing. I don't know if you guys were were you guys, I don't know who was here yesterday when we actually popped the fire pit and started sculpting these flames, but if you remember, the silicone got all underneath and all in the crevices of areas I didn't want it to in the original fire pit sculpture. And so this will be the same deal. Like when we pour the silicone into the mold to make these flames, there's a chance that it'll go through these tiny little cracks and get up underneath the actual flame sculpture itself. So we want to do our best to try and create a nice seal down here and not let the silicone even get a chance to get in there. Oh, this one really wraps around. That's gonna be interesting. We'll probably have to do one more alcohol wash on this before it's all said and done. This is also not going to be my prettiest mold I've ever made, okay? So when you guys are used to me spending a lot of time on molds, this one is not going to be the most handsome one. Alright, we're getting around a little more than halfway, it looks like. And this area should be a little bit easier, not as much of the flames going down and around, so it's going to be just fine. I'm sure it's going to be made fun of by all the other molds in my storage, okay? Hey, you got to prioritize. Very true, very true. Ow. Man, some of them rocks are sharp. I felt one just poke me through the clay. So what I was thinking is I'm just going to use like a deli cup turned upside down, cut out, to mold this, so I don't actually have to build any walls with cardboard or anything like that. Be perfect actually is I should find some. I'd have to buy it to do it, but if I had these around, those little Dixie cups, I don't know if you guys are familiar or remember those from like when you were a kid, those little tiny cups would be like perfect for this. I don't have any of them, but if I had them, they'd be awesome. I might do terpenoid on it, actually. Now that I'm looking at it, it could use a quick terpenoid. So instead of alcohol, we go in with a brush and we smooth out some of the texture with terpenoid. It works really well for that. You know, sometimes it's a little strong, so you just got to be careful with it. As long as it leaves some of the texture behind, that's really all I need. Alright guys, we're almost done. We're almost done. At least with this part, then we just smooth out, add some clay and smooth some stuff out, but... Alright, well, yeah, looks like this last little bit here is like one of them wraparound things again. Bow, bow. Damn, 5.5 thousand likes. Jen of Arc, you are going crazy. Your thumb's about to fall off. trying to get it to 10K. That's some dedication. What was the most we ever got? I think one time we got up to like, I think we got up to like 20K, 22K, something like that. It was something crazy. I don't remember. Lots of thumbs fell off that day. I don't know if you were here for that one or not, but it was naughty. This is like this might be the deepest wraparound one we have. I like our watching TV too. I forgot I was tapping. 18 hours later, Kirst wasn't even on stream when he received 1.5 million likes. Ah, just stabbed myself with a sculpting tool. It's a dangerous, dangerous work sculpting campfires, okay? I guess I'm also really excited to do the UV resin stuff of casting this, because I've actually never done it before, which means we're gonna be having some issues, but we're gonna learn something about UV resin and what I can pigment it with, and what I can't, how it reacts to things like heat after it's cast, how strong it is. I'm sure, like any other resins, there's probably like a variety of different resins out there. But the one I picked up, we'll at least be able to test that one out. It came highly recommended by Amazon reviews. Super excited about watching you do this too. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Probably won't be doing that stuff because the mold itself is gonna take 24 hours to cure, and we won't pour it till tomorrow, so should be around for Tuesday's stream. Provided everything goes well. And getting in here, I did not expect to be quite this tedious. that was a hoot, working inside that tiny wee hole. We have some undercuts, but it shouldn't be too bad. Also, it'll be interesting to see how well the if at all, the UV resin how well it sands and how well it how well it buffs if I need to end up buffing it out at all. I know, like for example, Glitch does like UV cured like nails and things like that, and obviously those I think can be sanded and polished and whatnot. So. All right, there we go. So that part's done. Let's simplify some shapes here so that the cup, when we put the cup on, can sit and create a seal. So what we'll do for a test real quick is just, where's my hops? I should have just kicked my heat lamp on as soon as I started messing around with this clay, but I didn't think about it. So here I am like a chump working with cold clay. Yep, see there's that damn rock sticking out. Fine. What up, turtle? There are a suspicious amount of arms that it's true. That is very true. How are things going, man? This is the fire pit for the Armsy, though. We already sculpted the actual fire pit. These are the flames that will wire in the LEDs and stuff into it. So he's chilling over in the corner. He's got his base coat on him, but I didn't really want to go through the trouble of painting him since I don't know how much I want to work on him until the diorama itself is done, and the fire pit's kind of a pretty important part of the diorama. So. I actually have to sculpt, I think, I'm gonna have to sculpt some, I might sculpt some flares, a skull or two, like a little skull, and then some luggage from the game too, so we have some other little knickknacks that have to be taken care of. You had some bad diorama last night? How things been going with you, dude? Hope, other than the bad diorama, hope things been going well. Just finished on my last commission, so I'm all caught back up again and ready for a new week of making new product. Wait, like officially last commission? Like you closed your commissions, you're not receiving anymore. Officially all done. No more commissions ever for Turtle is what you're saying. Okay, we might have to fix that problem there. The rock is showing through. I opened up a limited amount of slots just for some extra cash this month, but now they're closed again. Nice. Nice. How many did you get when you opened up the slots? And do you have your first plans for your own stuff, non-commission wise? I figured you'd try and keep them closed. Gotcha. Although, like, you know, I'm sure it's one of those situations where if you got to make that money, you got to make that money. Where did the tongue depressor go? What you do is you leave them open, Turtle, but you just charge an astronomical fee so that if someone actually comes along and really wants it, you'll be making just bank on it. You're excited? Finally get to work on your like own ideas. I can imagine that's pretty exciting. When do we get to start seeing some of the Turtle exclusive work coming out? Are you hoping to knock some out this next week? Cal, thank you for all the lives. Caleb, thank you for the likes. Thought 50 a pop was already a huge ask for emotes, but apparently not. And then it makes it difficult because you got those golden handcuffs too. Imagine if you had just kept raising the price and you could have never gotten away. All week long, hopefully live again. Oh, nice. Yeah, I was waiting. I thought you had said that you were going to mainly try and focus on doing like live game streams and stuff, so I didn't know if you were still planning on that or no. Honestly, I wonder how high I can raise them. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not sure there's a problem with raising them, right? Because you can always lower them again, right? I don't know if it ruins anything. If it hurts you to raise your prices to the point where they stop selling, right? And then just back them off. Nice. Hey, you know what, man? I'm excited for you. Have you messed around with that laser printer anymore, or laser engraver, I guess? Showed it who's boss. Welcome to the fastest, crappiest clay wall I've ever built. About to take my first commission for that. Oh, so you closed some commission, but you kept the other commissions open. Okay, nice, nice, nice. A true entrepreneur, you know? I have to say, big kudos. I'm sure it'll happen at some point in my life. Well, it's already happened a few times, but I've never been exclusively a commission artist. If it ever had to happen more regularly, I don't know how well I would handle that. I'm slow, and more importantly, I don't like working on other people's stuff. That's probably why it's slow. At least that part. It's hard to stay motivated when it's not your shit. Oh yeah, no. Create product, sell the product. Biggest lesson I've learned though from my quote unquote day job, if you will, is to always have the product made. I don't think I'll ever sell, like, myself, I will never sell bespoke work where you wait to receive the order to make the thing. I don't think I'll ever do that. Like, if I don't have the time to make a Chestburster to sell on Etsy, then I'm not gonna sell one, you know? If I can make like 5 or 6 of them and then just wait for them to sell, that would be, you know, that's ideal. Yeah, but now that you know what you got to do, it's you took those commissions probably as a really awesome ability to learn too, right? So now you got any and all the kinks worked out. Did you end up doing that Exorcist themed emote or whatever was going on? I did. I'll send you a preview in Discord. I think you'd like it. Yeah, basically 3 years of commissions took me from never drawing to a full-time artist. That sounds like a fucking win. That's pretty awesome, man. Congrats. Yeah, I'd love to see a picture of it, how it came out. Can't remember, was it an emote or was it maybe it was a gamer tag or something, like a profile pic or something, right? Oh, Dizam. Oh, Dizam. Is there audio to it? It's a video? You did a video? You did... I want to hit play, but I don't know. Is there going to be audio? No audio. Okay. Dude, you did that whole thing? That is cool as shit. Dude, that's badass. So it just repeats, right? Like, I'm guessing she just like floats up and down and whatnot, right? That came out really cool. To loop in the stream software. Nice, man. That came out really neat. How long did that take you? You had to build that whole room out and the bed and all that stuff. That's fucking cool as shit. Do you ever find out what type of streaming they do? Like, what kind of streamer are they? They do, like, scary video games or what? Another art streamer? It's set up to... It just doesn't loop naturally. Actually, I have no clue. It's still never... Oh, okay. Did you make like a beginning version to like a stream starting and pause and all that, or just the ending one? Also, next time you stream, I want to know that you're sitting around in one of those turtle cushion things that I sent you on your Discord. Just the text changes, background is always the same. Oh, okay, gotcha. One of those turtle shell cushiony things, man. Oh, really? Okay. I still to this, like, I was legitimately like, okay, what have I been looking at that fed Facebook or Google or whoever this analytic to show me this? And I look at some weird shit. So I want to know. I want to know what weird shit did I look at? It's probably just your Discord. It's like, oh, Kirst has been on this guy's Discord. He's apparently really into turtles. And also what you're saying basically is that I just, me and several other people just need you to purchase that thing and make it part of your wardrobe, okay? That's kind of creepy, yeah. So what you're saying, Turtle, is that you're selling our data to Google, huh? Like, hey Google, I don't know if you knew this or not, but these people, they love turtles, okay? Everything about them. Hey man, money is money. Okay. Let's just fix this error. What? Again. Okay, there it is. $9K, now it's 7.2. Oh my god. Yeah, that's weird. Well, okay, here's the other thing. What you guys see and what I see are different when it comes to likes. That's weird. What's your favorite 90s horror film aesthetic? Favorite 90s horror film aesthetic? Well, come on, like the 90s is really only known, like late 80s. Well, actually, this would be interesting. I don't know. I feel like the 90s was mainly known for the slasher aesthetic. Like, it's even when it started kind of becoming a parody of itself. Admittedly, it started more in, the 80s is when it was like biggest heyday, but like when Scream came out and stuff. So I guess I would say the only one I can really think of, I mean, if there were options in front of me, maybe I'd pick something different, but probably just like the slasher aesthetic. I see 7.2, but I always see less than you guys. You think buying massive stuffed turtle shells is cheap? How much is it? I'm curious. Seriously though, I'm curious. I didn't actually even look at the price of the damn thing. Look at you and your 6K TikTok followers. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're gonna make it up to 10K so I can finally put it on my damn computer. That's my goal. Considering I haven't actually made any TikToks recently. Lagged Out is my tentative editor, and he's been working his butt off on a YouTube video. It's his first project, and it sucks because I think the one that he's working on is like going to be one of the harder ones to do because it's super lame. It's one of my first streams. I actually remember the price, but I did. Yo, what's up with a tree? What's going on? What's going on? All right, where's my brush? Any brush will do. Okay, maybe not any brush. Most brushes will do. Where do you see the likes are? I see the likes up in the upper left-hand corner. Event Horizon and In the Mouth of Madness. Event Horizon is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, but I don't think that that aesthetic would be, say, specific to the 90s. I love Event Horizon. In the Mouth of Madness was okay. It definitely was out of the box for Sam Neill at the time, but Event Horizon is oddly one of my favorite films, even though it's a Paul W.S. Anderson film, and I really hate Paul W.S. Anderson. Like, watching hockey. Vegas is taking the cup. Oh yeah, it's the goal. Is it the Golden Knights? Wait, what is our hockey team called? I totally forget. I'm terrible. It's so crazy that movie came from that man. I know, right? Golden Knights. Yeah, I don't do hockey. I don't know. I think it's funny that a miserable, hot, 100+ degree desert is got a hockey team. It's just kind of funky to me. But yeah, every other movie that man has done is a piece of shit, and he's ruined two of my favorite franchises, so I'm not the biggest fan of him, honestly. I don't want to even give him credit for the Sand Skaters, yeah, right? I don't even want to give him a credit for Event Horizon. Seattle Krakens, yeah. I think you brought them up the last time. How far is the game right now? Like, where is it in the game? Crazy thing to me about hockey is that I could be wrong. Maybe things have changed, but when I did watch hockey back in the day, hockey's one of those things where, like, the scores are always pretty low, right? Like, a winning score could be 4 or 3, if memory serves me correctly. There are 2 wins out of 7 against Dallas right now. My favorite team is... Okay. Yeah, that's right. We did talk about this because I said my original team was the Red Wings, out of the Detroit Red Wings. They were big Stanley Cup winners for a few years back in the day. They go to the Cup. I mean, how can you not like a team called the Krakens? I mean, I feel like they should win kind of just because their name is awesome. Don't forget to drink your water. I won't forget to drink water. Thank you. Gotta stay hydrated. Don't be slacking when you're against the Kraken. The colors are S tier. Wait, what are the Kraken? Is it like green and black and white or something? It's got to be green. Green's got to be part of it, right? Or is it like something you wouldn't associate with a Kraken? Have any of you guys ever seen the movie Underwater? You got to check out the movie Underwater. That is a quality film. No green. Dark blue and teal. Okay. Teal. It's as much of a green as it is a blue. Yeah, that's the chick from Twilight, right? The Twilight movies. I don't know her from anything else. Yes, it's that one. Have you, so does that mean you've seen it or it's a good it is a great little scary it's a great suspense actually, I would say more suspense than horror, but there's definitely pretty heavy horror aspects to it, but it's got a great vibe for an underwater, you know, flick. I mean, shocker, it's called Underwater, so yeah. Yeah. They're dope. They've been the coolest jerseys in the league. I don't know. Is it it's hockey, right? That one of the teams is like the Sharks. Okay. I like Sharks, so I'm gonna have to stick with some shark action, okay? I don't know who it is though. The Seattle Sharky Boys. I don't think it was Seattle, bro. Come on, Seattle's team should really be called the Seattle Starbucks. Let's be real, okay? I'm pretty sure I'm right. Okay, you know what? I don't do sports. I could be, you know, way off. All right, whatever. And actually, sometimes what I do know about sports, I don't even know how I learned it. It's San Jose Dorks. What little I do know about sports, it has somehow transported into me through osmosis of being around just randos in the Midwest, okay? Even having said that, I'll have to admit, sports was way big on the West Coast, still is, and I don't understand it. I really don't. Never questioned me again. Whatever, man. I was I was duped. I was duped in that quiz, okay? It was a trick question. The quiz was rigged. It was rigged. Might be Vegas against Florida this year. Okay. Yeah, but the trick was that you had to know stuff. I had to know one thing I didn't know about the lamest of all the slashers. The most overrated slasher, I'm pretty sure, of all time. So I wasn't boned up on crappy horror movies, okay? It is a weird way to say that. It is. But that's why I wasn't saying it. I was just saying you lost. You just don't know that you did. I got no good comebacks today. I seriously don't. I'm oddly really out of it today. It must have been that long ass stream I did yesterday. I'm not used to doing 5.5 hour streams. It threw me for a loop. So Turtle, are you excited for the new Ninja Turtles movie that I don't even know? It was new a while ago. I don't know. The new animated one. Is that something you're excited for or indifferent about? I think I am. It's got a weird animation to it. I don't know. I feel like I saw the ad a while ago, so now I don't even know. For all I know, it's come and gone. I'm not really sure. Huh, some turtle advocate you are. No! I just got smited for making fun of your turtle advocacy. Point. I need to catch up. The animated movie that was recent. It's supposed to be. It's always terpenoid too, which is the grossest stuff to have to clean up. It's so oily. You're not turtly enough for the Turtle Club? Hey, I think I'm like an honorary member, even though I slaughter them regularly in video games. That's just how accepting they are, you know? Or maybe it's a keep your friends close, your enemies closer kind of thing. I'm not certain how this works. Or the previous... I didn't even know about that series. I have seen the live action ones that were made. We're all... I don't know if it was literally Michael Bay or not, but very Michael Bay-esque. They were a little weird. The CGI turtles. You forgot about those? I feel like they had their moments. The turtles just looked a little weird. But if you're going to do live action, I'd rather they go back to the costumes, personally. I don't think I'm alone in most of the fans in that opinion. I think they were Michael Bay, right? Literally. He tried to do to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles what he did to Transformers. I'm just waiting for, you know, what they're going to do with something like Hercules. Working on a timeline, my whole body is killing me. I can't fully unband my arms. I know that feeling. They don't die. They just hide in their shell. That's true. That is true. Very much his, yeah, cinematic style. Yeah, did you just start working out, below? Because, I used to have that problem when I would just start working out for like a couple weeks and then that would go away. I'd still get sore from the workout, but not as bad where it literally ached super, super bad and you could barely move your arms. That was always just the first couple weeks. Maybe not even that long, the first week or two. I should back up like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so I feel like you're probably not going to be dealing with... You'll just get the normal workout, like the normal workout aches Hopefully not the ones where you feel like you're crippled and can't actually do anything with your arms. Oh, you just started working out too? Nice. Okay, guys, this is I think more or less ready for tomorrow to get molded. Like I said, I'll just take a deli cup and literally just stick it on top of this, cut out the top side, and just pour silicone in, and that'll give us our flames. Flame on, motherfuckers! Remember, I mean, it's not too bad. Biggest. I'm pretty geeked as well. Just got 10 pounds left on my weight loss goal, and then I was going to try and start bulking up a bit. Nice. Yeah, I went down that rabbit hole for many years, back and forth. Even did a stupid expensive personal trainer for like 8 months. It's so crazy you have to pay so much money to hate someone. like, I'm not gonna lie. I've never been so close to wanting to throw a punch at someone I was paying to put me through hell. I had the best results, no doubt, but the part of working out that bugs me isn't even the working out. Is that if you want to take it seriously, it's more about I believe that there's more effort in the diet of what you're eating if you're trying to do it seriously than there is in the actual working out. I had to eat 3,400 calories a day. No, was it more than that? 3,800 calories a day with my workout regimen. And at first you're like, that's not that bad, I can do that. But what you don't realize is that it's 3,800 calories with the macros being what they're supposed to be. Believe it or not, it's really freaking difficult to eat 3,800 calories a day and keep like proper macros. It's a pain in the butt. Nice, resistant bands. There's a good way to go. Enjoying to eat a lot better. I'm actually enjoying it so far. Nice. Yeah, well, that's how it was for me. I was shredding weight, which was nice. But my goal with the trainer, I told them that I was like, I wanted to lose some weight, but my bigger goal was just to gain muscle. And so the regimen was like high intensity, like muscle training and shit like that. And one of the most important things for muscle building is taking in the calories you need and the right type of calories. Because I was obviously trying to lose, fat and gain muscle at the same time. I think if I did it again, I'd just pick one of those goals, just one of them, and stick with that one. You don't do cardio. Well, getting your heart rate up in general is probably good, whether you're doing like cardio specific work or not. I think squats were always the most beneficial, like all around. I'm sure there's plenty of workout gurus out there that have their own opinions, but overall I feel like squats were always the like best body workout. I hated doing them, but yeah. Yeah, if you're gonna do vegan too, oh man, I didn't think about that. You do vegan, it's gonna be a little bit trickier. Not impossible by any means. You can still do vegan, absolutely. You just have to pay attention, Just want some muscle on this frame. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. My big thing that always messed with me was when I was working out was my bad knee. So I was always afraid. It only happened once. I was always afraid of any jumping related stuff where if I like caught my foot wrong or something like that, as it was, like I've bent my knee back, literally hyperextended it backwards like twice in my life. And it is one of the most excruciating experiences and also just like visually terrifying. I know that sounds weird, but like, other than how much it hurts, just seeing your leg bent the other way, generally speaking, I think most people would agree that's a pretty terrifying sight to see. So not only does it hurt, but you're scared out of your mind too. It's not supposed to go that way. Oh, I did. Yeah, I did get knee braces eventually. I have a whole variety of them. I have a whole badass whole leg knee brace thing. But at the time, I just wore a basic support one. But even those weren't great because I needed patella support. So turtle shells, yeah, exactly. Protein shakes with greens, yeah. Hey, the protein shakes were the best part. But then you go down that rabbit hole, and I started buying creatine and shit like that, you know? What's going on? That's where it's coming from. It's still in the back of this damn thing. Is it creatine and what is it called? The can't I think of it? There's another thing for sure that a lot of people do. Amino acids, the angry acids, you know. Okay, guys. So tomorrow we mold the fire pit. You guys won't witness it. By the time you see it again, it will be molded. So let's just, for the rest of the stream, and this goes for you, TikTok. I'm going to actually be bouncing off of TikTok. If you want to see us work on the packaging design for the Chestburster, you're going to have to come over to YouTube or Twitch at creatively_cursed. We're going to be working on it over there. Why can't I get this thing to show up where I need it to? So why don't you head over there, creatively_cursed on Twitch, YouTube, or Kick. I'll catch up with you guys later, TikTok. We're all alone. Making a Dark Souls checkpoint. I've never played Dark Souls, but I can kind of gather what you're saying, and yeah, basically. So I've been doing that for a while. One, the biggest reason, honestly, is because I don't like having to look at two different windows for my chat, and until TikTok gets their head out of their ass and lets people stream from their PCs without 10,000 followers, I mean, Jesus. That 6K was tricky enough to get, Talk. Jesus. Oh, is the checkpoint is like a save point on is the save point in Dark Souls the is it a fire pit? I didn't know. Literally never played any of them. I know a lot of people that have gotten a lot of use out of those juicer machines. I've never had one. I just had good old-fashioned blenders. I feel like if I got a juicer, I would just start juicing stuff you shouldn't juice. You ever had feline juice? Just like from made out of a cat, you know? It would happen, I'm telling you. So check it, guys. You guys have all seen the Chestburster, but photo shoots are coming up, and I want to get it selling on Etsy. And so one of the tricky things is I've been trying to figure out if someone's going to pay a crap ton of money for this thing, it should ship in something proper and professional. So I'm going to make, if you guys have ever seen them for action figures or many other products are sold in what are called clamshell packages, which is clear plastic that's in the general shape of the thing. So what I'm going to do is we have a vacuum form machine here at the studio. Is I'm going to create what's called a buck or a tool. And what that means is you take your shape, which is essentially what you're looking at right here, and then you make it whatever you want. You mold it and you create a stone or hydrocal version of it. And it has like holes in it, like here and here and here. And then you put that down and that heats up along with your plastic. And then the plastic goes over it, vacuum forms it. And then I'll have a literal vacuum form clamshell that the Chestburster can fit into in this pattern. So that's what I'm doing. Chestburster? Hardly know her. Yeah. I like your alien thing. Thank you. I like my alien thing too. So looks like a fossil. It does kind of look like a fossil. So what I did was, this is the silicone Chestburster, just like you guys have seen, but I posed him in a certain way, and I've been taking clay and just building it up to around it. The whole point with a vacuum form machine is you can't have really, or should at the very least minimize any undercuts, because once that plastic goes down over and it starts sucking the air out, it's going to literally form to everything. And when this is made out of, say, plaster or concrete or stone or aluma resin or anything like that, any undercuts won't let you get that plastic piece off. So it needs to be a very generalized version of it. So as long as I avoid any undercuts, this will be a really cool way that I can ship the product out to customers. You bet. It's made out of platinum silicone, bro. It's body safe, but not kid safe. I don't know why I said that. So we have to design the buck and the tool, and that's what we're doing right now. Where is... So like this area right here, I'll show you guys. This area right here, this is technically an undercut. So once the plastic goes over this edge and it gets sucked in underneath, the plastic's not going to be able to go back up to be released out because of this undercut. So we have to make sure to keep stuff like that filled in. That is the goal. And also, I don't know if it'll be this week or when I'm going to do it, but I totally saw that the new, what's it called? Starship Troopers video game is out on Steam. So we will be playing that on stream, because Starship Troopers is one of my favorite from my childhood movies, and I want to kill them bugs. Yeah, it's like a, it came out in May actually, or wait, we're in May now. Sorry, it came out like, what's the date today? What the fucking date is? It came out like within the last week or two, I think. Would you like to know more? Yeah, and you play. Apparently, you have to play with like 16 other randos, unless you, I guess, have 16 friends that can just play at any time. But yeah, it's based on the scene in the film where they go to that weird, not desert planet, but like, actually it is kind of deserty, but with the mountains and shit. You have to go and find something and like activate or repair something, and then you have to head back to a base where there's some fortification process, and then it's just like literally waves of these things coming at you until your dropship arrives to pick you back up. So essentially, what is that? That's like Left 4 Dead, basically, but it looks like they nailed the bug designs, but it's all first person. The only part that wigs me out is the whole aspect that you have to play. I don't think you can even play a game without getting a full team, which again, I want to say is like 18 players. So you kind of are forced to some extent to just play with, you know, asshole people on the internet. So I'm sure there's some good ones. For the most parts, though, they're probably assholes. But it's in early access, so I'm gonna guess it's not, I don't know, too expensive. But I haven't checked out the price tag on it yet. And I actually think it's that whole like, would you like to know more type commercial thing that is what tells you what your mission is when you get launched into the onto the planet. There's actually a couple, like, think about it. So Starship Troopers was Paul Verhoeven, RoboCop was Paul Verhoeven, and RoboCop's getting a game here shortly. I forget what it's called. It's called like RoboCop, like Detroit in Madness, or in Flames or something. I don't know what the hell it's called, but that'll be, the RoboCop game will be fun too. Next is just a Total Recall game, guys, right? Although I don't really know what the hell that game would look like. No, here's what they should do. They should just make a... Oh my god, this would actually... Rockstar, if you're listening, this is a genius idea. For Grand Theft Auto, you just need to make a Total Recall plugin where you can randomly go visit a recall center and go on one of your crazy vacations. And it's just Grand Theft Auto, but with recall. Rockstar, I expect to be paid out for this idea. Okay, this is a genius idea. Yeah, are you a big MK fan? I forget, Turtle. Have you played all of them? Know all the story and all that fun jazz? I was really pleased to see how they're kind of... Well, the last one obviously is like allowing this one to exist in the story, but it's like a reboot. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope it's not too redundant, like, and kind of like boring, because it's already... It depends on how much they change the story. Like, I don't want to be told the exact same story over again, right? One of your favorite franchises. Did you hear that Karl Urban got cast as Johnny Cage for Mortal Kombat 2, the movie? And I don't know how much research you've done, but there's rumors that Homelander is going to be one of the characters that you can... is going to be one of the expansion pack characters for the new Mortal Kombat game. If Karl Urban, he did Dread really well, right? And then Johnny Cage is supposed to be more of like the Jean-Claude Van Damme type guy, right? So it's a little weird, but if he changes his physique a little bit, like slims up, gets more like slender, kind of muscular, I think he could do it. I'm not certain we really have... Even Jason Statham is kind of older now, right? Do we have any modern American martial art, like famous martial artists? I guess something UFC based would probably be the closest it gets, right? He does totally seem more of a Kano for sure. And I'm actually super bummed that Kano was the best part of the newest Mortal Kombat movie, and he got iced. So we're not gonna... I mean, they could bring him back, I suppose, but they probably won't, and that bums me out. He totally would have been a great Kano. They cast the chick who's going to play Tanya, or no, Jade. Apparently she was in the Sabrina Netflix show, but Jade's another character I just think is ultimately... Like, no one really gives a shit about Jade, pretty sure. He was. Yeah, totally. Like, even, yeah, again, even the old Mortal Kombat movies, Kano was one of the better parts. Even though, to be honest, I never liked Kano as one of the characters in Mortal Kombat. Like, I don't think I ever played as Kano. Well, that's not true. I've played as every character in Mortal Kombat just to say that I did, but I never gave a shit. He was never a main that I played. I knew people that liked that character for the game, but I never gave two shits about him. Oh, that's true, dude. He could be a better, yeah, he could be a better character for sure. Is your wife really like Jade? Like, what is there even to say about Jade? She's got no good story, right? Literally, she's just a henchman. Like, at least Katana has, like, I'm the son of Shao, or the daughter, she's the daughter of Shao Kahn, right? Yeah, she's like the daughter of, pretty sure she's the daughter of Shao Kahn, right? Yeah. It was like Shao Kahn and Sindel's daughter is Katana. Who the fuck is Jade? Jade's just a chick with a staff, man. Her story isn't really noteworthy. She looks cool. That was the answer. Does she? I feel like all the chick characters, for the most part, kind of got lame roles. Like lame powers, not great stories. I think the coolest one is probably, it's Melina. I forget what the name of the monsters that Baraka is. Like that species of character. But like she's at least cool. She's like a, if memory serves me, is like a science project gone wrong, essentially. Is that what Jade was the bodyguard? I don't even remember that. When the hell is that even defined? In the movies, she should, like, admittedly, that movie was garbage. The second Mortal Kombat. I mean, it had its moments, and it was fun to see some of those characters brought to life. But the movie overall, again, Paul W. Sanderson for the lose here. But she like shows up, talks to Nightwolf, and then is like a double agent, and then just like fucks off. And then in the games, admittedly, I don't remember there being much story in Mortal Kombat 1 or 2. I know I played 3 and 4, Armageddon. I played part of Deadly Alliance. I don't remember playing the story mode on that one. But all the most recent ones, I swear I don't remember her actually having a fucking role. Also assassin, okay. Well. I mean, she has some, I'll say, in the newer games, she does some wicked ass shit with that staff. And by staff, I mean her employees. No, I'm just joking. Okay. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that the rumors, most exciting thing I'm excited, or the most exciting thing I think that's coming out movie-wise or whatever is, if it's true, is the new Batman flick with potentially Clayface as a villain, as the villain, live action. That, oh my god, if that comes true, this new Batman will literally be my favorite Batman. And Kenshi, Scorpion and Kenshi. I was always a Sub-Zero guy, but I also enjoyed Scorpion quite a bit. Kenshi was pretty cool. When did he, is he gonna be, is Kenshi, have they announced that that character's going to be in the new game? Or in the new movie? I totally forgot about Kenshi. He is pretty dope. Keanu nowadays could totally do Kenshi, yeah. I said I wanted J.K. Simmons to play Quan Chi. Okay, that's what I want. He was dead in the crypt in the last one. Yeah, I don't remember. So I remember how the last one ended. That's what's left it open for the new one, you know, is Liu Kang fights the weird, like, god of gods, like god of elements or whatever the shit she is. And then he becomes a god, and then he kind of like restarts everything. That's the general premise of the last game. I don't even remember the character roster for that game. There was some dude, I think it was called Earthquake or something. Honestly, other than I vaguely remember some really amazing cinematics. I don't remember a ton about the last game. When they started introducing like Kotal Khan and all of his lackeys and stuff, I thought it was cool. Thought it was a great way to bring in some new, fresh characters, but it was a little, I think it was like a little too late, basically. The Elder God of Time, okay. They fight, yeah, what's her face? And her Sandman henchman. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I actually like the Johnny Cage and like Sonya arc with their kids, probably more than the original arc. So if that's what they do for the movie, which why not? They could totally do that for the movie. Just like they introduced Johnny. Actually, that is how Karl Urban could totally be he could be an older Johnny Cage for sure. Kotal a lot actually, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, they kind of had no choice. They eventually had to release some new characters. It just is weird because like all this, I don't know. I just felt like it was just a lot of story catch up. Like, oh, okay, there's this whole other, which makes sense. This whole other realm with or part of realm that has a whole other leader and gang of baddies and shit like that. Wait, was he the one with the swords that were also like whips, or is that a different one? Because there was Sonya and Johnny's kid, there was Jax's kid, and then actually, yeah, the kid, Ken Chi's kid, the whip guy. Yeah. Actually, was he not in the newest one? I thought they were kind of like a gang, like all the kids kind of hung out together. I thought he was in the newest one too. As I've started to get older, I do I've recently, not freaked out, but thought about the fact that if they keep making all these genre movies, Takeda, yeah, I think, or Takada, yeah. I remember when, way back in the day, I don't know if anyone knows who Warren Zevon is. He was a musician. He famously did Werewolves in London. He passed away in, I want to say like the early 2000s or something like that. And before he passed away, he said he did an interview like a couple months before he passed away, and I think he had cancer or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was discussed in this interview. And in the interview, the interviewer asked something like, you know, do you have any goals for the next year or something like that? And he joked saying, I just hope I live long enough to see the new James Bond film. And I forget what James Bond film it was. I'm pretty sure it was one of the Daniel Craig ones. And he did not live long enough to see it. And I'm like, man, what is going to be that movie when I'm all old? Assuming I live to be old, right? Like really, really old. And I'm like, old age dying. It's going to be like Mortal Kombat 58. And I'm going to really want to see it. And I'm going to just die before I even get the chance. Like it's going to happen. It was, I think, just a cameo. They got rid of all the kids outside of Jackie and Cassie Cage. Was there? Well, there weren't that many, right? It was like 3 or 4 of them. That's it. I just hope you live long enough to play that new Elder Scrolls. Maybe. I just hope at this point I live long enough to see the Fallout show. I'm a little worried because it's an Amazon show, but I like Walter Goggins, and he's supposed to be in it. So fingers crossed. Jackie, Cassie, Takeda, and Kunjin. That's right. Who is? But the latter two were not in the latest film or in the latest game. Huh. Okay. Like I said, I don't remember a ton about the roster. Sub-Zero's always been my main character. Like, I've always loved Sub-Zero, so it's the one I care about the most. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Because like all the costumes in that in the new game seem really minimal. They went more like classic. I don't know, more like classic ninja style, which is cool. But I liked, some of the kind of more bulky, kind of like cyber ninja stuff that they were doing in the latter games. Huh, okay. Me and Paladin were talking the other day, and we were both saying how much we think our favorite Mortal Kombat game was probably Armageddon. Both how they told the story, even though I didn't really care about Armageddon's main character that they made to tell the story. The fact that there was that third person storyline, the fact that they had motor combat, the fact that they had a build your own character feature, and they had the largest roster of characters that were playable in a Mortal Kombat game with ice powers and anything. You hate Sub-Zero, dude. Sub-Zero's my jam. You like Scorpion. Of course you don't like Sub-Zero. This tracks. But yeah, Armageddon's motor combat, the weird like Mario Kart version they need to bring that shit back. I had so much fun with that, and especially the build your own character feature was really cool. That whole game, in a lot of ways, in my opinion, was really ahead of its time. It had the story, the third person story, like going around and fighting like 50 dudes at a time, and like, quick time events and stuff like that. I mean, it was a pretty extensive story to just be part of a Mortal Kombat game. It was really extensive. Good old Meat. Yeah, dude, Meat. What character was that? I don't ever, like, Meat was, I swear, one of those just like cameo characters. Like, I don't even think he was in the story. We were talking about it. It's not just Meat. Like the movie that just came out, or the newest Mortal Kombat movie, had some characters that were only in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and I don't even remember their storyline. The guy with the big hammer, the weird like flying demon chick. Those were all Mortal Kombat Armageddon characters that I'm pretty sure like essentially were Netherrealm nobodies. I think one of them was a general or something. I don't remember. Yeah, well, do you remember Mocap, dude? Was just the guy in the motion capture suit. God, it had so many random ass characters. I know the big dragon guy. I can't remember his name, but that he was from Deadly Alliance, but he was kind of random too. You had the cat version of Goro. I don't remember when the hell that guy got brought in, but you could play as him in Armageddon. There was also, was it Moloch or something like that? He was like a weird cave, like hunched over cave troll thing with like a ball and chain was his weapon and shit. Like, it was some random ass stuff in that game. But yeah, Feline Goro, Kintaro, I think maybe was his name, was pretty lame. Oh yeah, all the new characters, like the weird, like, hey, we're doing this for funsies characters were pretty lame. You can tell pretty much after Armageddon, they really did stop with like they went with the smaller roster, and like higher quality characters. And while this is tedious, it is going quickly. We'll probably have the book done. Maybe I should make a goal to try and do the photo shoot of the Chestburster and the Krampuses next weekend. That'd be awesome. Meeting Mocap. Yeah, Mocap was Mocap was so fucking weird. Like Mortal Kombat was kind of on its way of like just not taking itself seriously. I'm happy with the revamp that they did, that they totally kind of went in the other direction. It's like, no, we're making this fucking game like cinematic. Did you ever watch the Mortal Kombat Legacy? I think that's what it was called. The YouTube stuff. A new Injustice Clayface would be dope in that. That's true. Yeah, that stuff was really good too. Yeah. I never liked Injustice. There was one aspect about Injustice that I hated, and I don't think I can ever forgive, which is the blocking system. That you have to go backwards to block. I absolutely could never get, like, because it was such a Mortal Kombat game, I could never trick my brain into not trying to hit like R1 or something like that. With Casper as Johnny? What do you mean Casper? The guy who played Casper was Johnny? I don't even remember that. I watched it when it was like first coming out way back in the day. I don't remember a ton about it. I remember like a couple of key things. I remember the original trailer, or the guys who did the trailer for it ended up making the show, and the trailer had, I swear the trailer had the guy from, no wait, someone else played Johnny in the trailer. Maybe it wasn't the same people. Anyways, the trailer had the guy who played Spawn as Jax. Casper Van Dien from Starship Troopers was Johnny Cage. Really? Huh. Back to Block 2. Yeah, Casper. Now I don't know if we watched the same thing. I'm gonna have to look into that. Maybe, I don't remember that. Are you talking about the main guy from Starship Troopers? Huh. I don't remember that. Yeah, you could be right. I don't. Dude, did you know that it was his daughter? That actor's daughter is the chick, the first chick to go in Stranger Things. I don't know if you're a Stranger Things fan. I'm a big Stranger Things fan, and I found out that his daughter was in the last season. And once you know it's his daughter, you can kind of see it. The yeah. Chrissy, yeah, the cheerleader. Yeah. That's his daughter. I forget who her mother is, but he's her dad. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Chrissy, wake up. Yeah. Yeah. I forget how I found that out. I'm sure it was Glitch and I watching it and just being like, she looks familiar, and looking her up. I know. I think it was actually Glitch who told me, so she must have already looked her up. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that actor was going places. Okay, I really did. I thought that actor from Starship Troopers was going places. He was in Starship Troopers, and if you remember, right around the same time, he was in Sleepy Hollow. And it seemed like he was gonna kind of make it big, and then he kind of didn't. He just kind of like disappeared. Wait, and Sonya was Jerry Ryan? What are you talking about? Who's Jerry Ryan? I don't know who that is. His dad and grandfather were also actors? I didn't know that. Okay, do you know about the trailer I'm talking about, or like the weird Mortal Kombat short where the guy who plays Spawn is Jax? Have you seen that? Do you know what I'm talking about? I thought that was like almost like a Kickstarter thing to start what later got called, I think, Mortal Kombat Legacy. But it might have been completely separate from those things. But it was like maybe 5 or 10 minutes long, and it was kind of like, it was like a short, but they made it was super gritty. It was like Mortal Kombat meets 7. That's the one you're talking about. But that's not who plays Johnny Cage in that short. Is not, what's his face? Machine not. Okay. Yes, it does. The short does have Johnny Cage in it. It's Scorpion who's being interrogated in the interrogation room, and Spawn dude is showing him pictures of, yes, but they're showing him pictures of murders taking place, and they're alluding to it being Sub-Zero. But during that scene, they're explaining shit that's happened, and there's a cut scene to Johnny Cage fighting Baraka in his like sweet ass Hollywood apartment, and Baraka is like all dreaded out and a bunch of piercings on his face, but relatively like human. And he was like a human that was just turned into, had like a bunch of body modifications done. And Johnny Cage gets iced by Baraka in his apartment. That's like all part of the short. And it's not that actor. I remember he like lights up a stogie as Baraka like chops his head off. I'm pretty sure it's Johnny Cage that he's fighting. I'm like, admittedly, it's been a few years since I've watched that short. I'm 99% sure it's Johnny Cage. Well, yeah, but I think you are right, because there were other things. If that was that's why I was saying I wasn't sure if that short was the same people who did Legacy, because there's certain things that they changed, from the short. Like the short was really creepy. And I'm pretty sure they went and, like, if you remember, like Reptile's character they were talking about in the short, and he was like a serial killer type dude. And I think they ended up changing that. Um, I think they might have even recast the Scorpion character. I don't remember exactly. Maybe I think they kept Jax as that actor though. Yeah, birth defect, and he was like eating people, um, and like keeping their bits in a fridge. I remember that. Because I remember watching Legacy, and while I enjoyed it, I thought that it was a little disappointing when compared to the trailer. But, you know, with a low budget, what do you know? I just was ready to see that really creepy kind of like Seven/Murder Detective kind of take on the Mortal Kombat characters. Yeah, Johnny is just some guy. Yeah, exactly. I really loved those kind of like indie YouTube movies that were put out. There was another one with Dawson's Creek guy for, I think it was Power Rangers. Can never remember that guy's name. And it was like a dark take on Power Rangers. It was like a short. It was really interesting. Like my favorite one is Batman Dead End with Predator and aliens. That was really cool. The only reason I think you know that it's Johnny is because I think he has like posters up in his apartment of the movies he worked on, and his name is on those. I think. I don't even know if during the interrogation they explained that it was Johnny Cage per se. Bo Katan? I don't know who Bo Katan is. At least not by name. I don't know who that is. Is that one of the Power Rangers? A character from The Mandalorian. Oh, okay. I only watched the first. I don't even think I watched the whole first season of The Mandalorian. Man, I really missed the whole Star Wars. I really missed the whole Star Wars train. I don't really get it, to be honest. But I never was on the whole Star Trek thing either. Power Rangers, Bo-Katan, a character from The Mandalorian, the same actress who was also narrated Katie Sackhoff. That I know who Katie Sackhoff is. I actually, Glitch loves Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica, and actually we did the. I don't know if you've ever messed around with that Cameo app where you can have like celebrities do things. I think it was a few years ago. I did I paid Katie Sackhoff to do like a happy birthday to Glitch. It was actually really sweet. It came out really well. I was pretty impressed. Yeah. Yeah, and I only really knew her from like you said, from the Riddick movie. But wait, you're saying she was in? Wait, is Katie Sackhoff in The Mandalorian? Is she in the first season? Because I swear I watched the first season. I don't remember her being in it, but my mind just might be fried. She's in the royal family that ruined the planet Mandalorian. She shows up in season 2. Oh, okay, all right. That would be why I didn't know she was in that. Is the Mandalorian still going, or did they wrap that show up? Because obviously they got 8 billion Star Wars projects going on. I'm sure. I didn't know if the Mandalorian is still going. Revolves around her. Okay. I think for me, there's a point of fandom that's required to stay invested in some of these pop culture fictions that I is what turns me off. So like I feel like I could have been just as into Star Wars as anybody else if it hadn't blown up bigger than say the original films. Maybe if it had stayed just like even with the prequels and all that. But the amount of fandom and like fiction and history and stuff that I feel like is kind of required to really get into these shows is kind of daunting. Maybe that's why when Mortal Kombat came out and started doing the whole like Kotal Khan stuff and all that, it was like I liked the idea of Mortal Kombat without the science fiction by the pound aspect of it. And so I think that's kind of how I feel about like Star Trek and Star Wars is just like the wealth of lore behind all those things is entertainingly daunting. Onward starts mixing a lot of stuff from the animated shows and ties in more and more. Well, yeah, because even what was the animated show? I don't remember the name of the animated show. But from my understanding, and this is just from people I know that are really into Star Wars, I mean that stuff is pretty much considered canon, right? So all right, guys. Believe it or not, we actually made it from like way over here, fixing all this to here. So we did not bad, but I'm gonna keep working on this off stream. Clone Wars is canon, yeah, that's right, and there is a lot of it. Yeah. Thanks for everyone hanging out. Turtle, it was great catching up with you, dude. I can't wait to see some of your stuff that you'll be making over the next few weeks. Glitch, of course, thanks for hanging out. I think we even had Willow jump in. We had a bunch of people jump in. It was really great chatting with all of you. It was awesome. We'll be back on Tuesday for messing around with some UV resin for the fire pit. Maybe start messing around with some LEDs. We'll see. But either way, guys, I really appreciate it. If you're watching this now or in the future, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. Otherwise, have a great rest of your Sunday night, guys, and I will catch up with y'all later. Peace.